I'd like for you to meet Cesar Romero, because under all of this makeup as the Joker in the Batman movie, he is, of course, one of the handsomest actors and men in the world.
Well, you can easily tell that.
I can easily tell. I have a question. Why the green hair on Joker?
Oh, well, that's part of the Joker's makeup, you know.
Yeah, I never
green
read.
hair. I'm not a great student, actually, of the Batman comic strip, but I understand that the Joker got the green hair because in one of the first strips that he appeared in making his escape from Batman, he dove into a river that was full of a certain chemical that turned his hair green. So from then on, he's had green hair.
It's ridiculous. Do you like playing Joker?
Oh, sure.
Is
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a lot of fun doing the show, and we had a lot of fun making the movie. And it's a part, you know, that you can do everything that you've always been told not to do as an actor. In other words, you can get as hammy as you like and go all out, and it's great fun.
I wish you'd win sometime.
Oh, you can't win. The villain can't win. We always win, you know, on Wednesday night. At the end of the show, Wednesday night, we're winning. But then comes Thursday night, and we lose.
You've had it. Had it.
This would be the character whose core, while totally determinant of the part, was the least limiting of any I would ever encounter. You know, this is a more literary way of approaching than I might have had as a kid when I read the comics, but, you know, you have to get specific. In a way, his specifics broadened it rather than what you normally use specifics for, so you don't drift. His specifics are he's not wired up the same way. This guy has survived nuclear waste immersion here.
I have given a name to my pain.
Mysterious figure.
And it is Batman.
Appear and disappear at will.
You know, even in my own life, people have said there's nothing sacred to you in the area of humor, Jack. You'll trample on it. You know, sometimes, Jack, relax with the humor. This does not apply to the Joker. In fact, just the opposite. Things that even the wildest comics might be afraid to find funny. Burning somebody's face into oblivion. Destroying a masterpiece in a museum. A subject that, as an art person, made me a little scared. Not this character. And I love that. No one had worked en masse in the movies in a very long time. And of all characters to whom these ideas might apply, just academically, the Joker is one of them.
My attitude was very practical. It was, if you have somebody of that caliber, they'll have a 12-hour turnaround. You've got to do the makeup in under 2 hours, whatever it is. You have to have a practical approach to how you would do a character like that.
I did have a very early meeting before anything happened with Nick. Creatively, it was very specific. You know, in other words, I wanted to get something more of the elongation. You know, when you look at the drawings, his hair is not bright green, you almost see it as a lighting effect. You know, you're at the beginning, everything's always brand new at a movie, and Tim was feeling that this would come through the lighting. That it wasn't too bright, too green, more of a Clarabelle than a Joker, you know. And I said, oh, you know, Tim, look, you know, I don't agree with that. You don't want that level of clowning. Don't worry, I'll try to be humorous. He is the Joker and funny. And we did the test on the wig, and immediately he saw too bright. Changed the wig, much less green area, you know, much less fright wig element, more, you know. I had an actor friend whose name was Clegg Hoyt. He did a thing called the bird dance, which I did spontaneously in the picture where he goes, you know, when he did that X, and that was like a personal, you know, homage to Clegg. Certain periods of time, I know I have to look at the dailies and so forth. Other periods, I'm too scared. You know, what if I don't like it, you know, or what if it makes me feel like you know, whatever you fear when you don't confront your fears. And I didn't go to dailies at first on this picture. You know, I don't know why I made that decision, but finally Tim, John Peters said, no, you really should see this, you know, and the way they said that to me, I went. And from then on in, I knew, you know, I mean, it really, that was even further liberating. As I say, some movies just go right. Yeah.
One of the things that informs the Joker is his laugh. And I remember reading the comic books, it was ha 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 ha, but lots of ho ho hee hee ho ho hee. His laugh should be like a musical instrument. It should sort of illustrate his mood. It could be ominous and intimidating. It could be gleeful and with wild abandon. But I didn't want to just have one rote laugh. I was driving to the first recording session thinking, how did I laugh? I'm on the freeways in Los Angeles. No, that's not it. No, that's not it. They used to kid me because I was the only one who would stand up.
Yes, well, this is all tremendously boring.
They had these little, those separators that you see, like, for musicians so your sound doesn't bleed into other people's mics. And everybody's sitting down at their little music stand, and I just thought to energize the character, to shake my fist, and I felt I've got to stand up.
What do you think we can do about that?
It was one of those moments where I was asked if I would be interested in playing the Joker, and I knew 5 seconds later exactly how to play it. And I sat down with Chris and shared my thoughts with him, and they were identical to his, and we just kind of went from there. Yeah. When Chris came to me, and I knew how Chris was, he'd already set up the world for me. I'd seen what world it was that I would be playing in, so I knew it was open for a fresh interpretation. And I also instantly kind of had something up my sleeve, which happened to be exactly what Chris was kind of looking for. We sat down and kind of shared ideas, and they were the same, and so we just went with it.
Can you say how that something might differ from Jack Nicholson's portrayal?
How it will? You'll just have to check it out to find out the answer to that question. Yeah. So I'd say I guess the Joker. Although the Joker was actually, that was the most fun I've ever had, probably ever will have, playing a character. It was, and I'm not sure whether it was hard stamina-wise, because it was just high levels of energy were required every day. But it was incredibly enjoyable. Yeah.
And the last question, in regards to the Joker, what is it that you want to bring to that character? I guess you're done doing. What is it that you want to bring this character that we haven't seen before?
You're just gonna have to wait and see, and it's done too. So.
Are you done?
Yeah. And I think the movie is going to be awesome. Like I'm very excited for it. I haven't seen anything, nothing. They're so conscious of it. Like they really don't want anyone to see anything. It's very secretive, and but just from what I've seen, like firsthand, and just from what I hear, I think it's going to be good.
The inspiration, I looked at all kinds of things. I think that the Joker is a cross between a snake, a hyena, maybe a little gorilla in there somewhere. David Ayer and I really collaborated on the Joker. He had very specific ideas. He was very focused on the tattoos and the hair, and he actually, I haven't talked about this before, he didn't want to have a scar for the smile, and we debated that a bit. And then, of course, I had other ideas and things that I was very focused on, from his voice to the laugh to, I wanted to shave my eyebrows because I know it changes your face in a very kind of strange, ethereal way. So yeah, it was collaboration. I think that the Joker is always evolving, not just with me, but with whoever will play the role next.
Have you watched the Joaquin Joker trailer?
No.
No?
I haven't seen it.
Thought it was very smart, really unique. It was like nothing I'd ever read before. Still elements from the kind of DC canon of Batman. There were still references to that world, and yet it also felt like it was something that was brand new and stood on its own. It was irreverent and funny and twisted. It was a brilliant script. At a certain point, like once you reach the target weight, everything changes. Like it's so much of what's difficult is waking up every day and being obsessed over like 0.3 pounds, right? And you really develop like a disorder. I mean, it's wild, right? Is it just me, or is it getting crazier out there? But I think the interesting thing for me is what I had expected and anticipated for the weight loss was these feelings of dissatisfaction, hunger, a certain kind of vulnerability and a weakness. But what I didn't anticipate was this feeling of kind of fluidity that I felt kind of physically. I felt like I could move my body in ways that I hadn't been able to before. And I think that really lent itself to some of the physical movement that started to like emerge as an important part of the character that I don't think I expected. There are several different reactions that people can have, and they're all valid. And there's something really exciting about being in a movie that requires the audience to participate with the character in a different way. I mean, usually characters' motivations are so clearly defined that we're telling the audience precisely what to feel and when. And what I like about this movie is it's really up to interpretation. Kind of talked me through what it is that he wanted out of this character in this movie. And he showed me some videos, and he described the laughter as something that's almost painful. And so ultimately, I think that it is Joker. It's a part of him that's trying to emerge, right? And I thought that was a really interesting way of looking at this laugh, because I think we all kind of assume what a Joker laugh is, and it felt like it was a new, fresh way of looking at it. And that was really exciting. But honestly, I didn't think that I could do it. And I was kind of practiced alone, but I asked Todd to come over to audition my laugh, because I felt like I had to be able to do it like on the spot and in front of somebody else. And it was really uncomfortable, because it took me a long time, because I didn't want to fake it. I had to like find it, and you said, please don't do this.
It was so uncomfortable.
Saying this may not be real, I'd say whatever he's saying, it's very real to him. Now, whether it is objectively real, that's questionable. But for him, it always felt real. So I felt like I had to approach it sincerely every time, whatever the scene was. But it's really left up to you, to the audience, to decide what you think is real or isn't.
Perfect.